Appalachian Championship Wrestling fans, we are getting started now with one of our favorite times of the year, and that is our B-Dub season. And always our kickoff show for B-Dub season is Schools Out. And I believe that name came from, just a quick little sidebar, I believe that name came from when we were first deciding that we were going to name the shows, a lot of the shows, after songs. And I distinctly remember sitting down and making that list many years ago, and it seemed appropriate since it does in fact time out with when a lot of students are getting out of school. So like we've said before, the official American kickoff to summer is Memorial Day. The ACW Wrestling kickoff to summer is whenever the Schools Out show happens. So we're going to take a look back at the Schools Out show from Thursday, June 9th, 2022. I see Michelle Myers was already doing her thing.
In rare form.
As I look down and see her John with them. But I'm Nikki Walters with Mike Kelly, and so we're going to take a look back at this show and hope that this will get you ready, fired up and ready for Schools Out 2025, which is coming up on June 12th of this year. So Thursday, June 12th, you're going to want to join us at the B-Dubs at Cross Lanes. Free show out in the parking lot, but man, don't let the free show thing fool you, because these shows are jam-packed with excitement. So, Mike Kelly, if you want to give a little bit of context to Josh Bishop, who we're seeing here in this first match, and not only his journey into ACW, but also, what we may be seeing later.
Well, yeah, and this seemed to be the perfect show to pick for this episode, because we got, as Nikki was saying, we got the return to Cross Lanes, West Virginia B-Dub of ACW, which kicks off the summer of ACW traditionally with Schools Out back up here in Cross Lanes where this show is taking place. And we got the return of Josh Bishop coming up here in a few short weeks. May 23rd, 2025, Josh Bishop returns to Appalachian Championship Wrestling from that shoulder injury. Josh Bishop returns to Oak Hill Friday, May 23rd. And so right here you got Josh Bishop is challenging Suicide for the ACW Super H title. And just to get everybody up to date on what was going on at this time, this was Josh Bishop's 5th appearance for Appalachian Championship Wrestling. We had seen him a couple times in 2021. I've seen him in the compound this year in 2022. And one of the things that'll come into play later, Josh Bishop had won the guarantee briefcase, which enables him to cash in on any title at any time. But that doesn't come into play in this match. This match is straight up Josh Bishop challenging Suicide for the ACW Super H title.
And we know that Josh Bishop, of course, from here, went on to amass many more belts around his waist.
Yes. He had so many he had to carry them on his shoulders.
Yeah, his big, broad, huge shoulders covered in belts. So we're really seeing the beginning of Josh Bishop in ACW here. Not the exact first match, but kind of his
this is the night
launch.
This is the night that Josh Bishop literally took over Appalachian Championship Wrestling. As well, I mean, this is an old show, we won't worry about spoilers. He defeats Suicide for the Super H title, and then later on in the night, he becomes the ACW Heavyweight Champion. Later on in the show by cashing in his guarantee briefcase. And this is really cool. One of the things I've really been enjoying is taking a look back at some of these matches that we haven't seen since they happened. This match has never. I think there was maybe some clips of it out there on YouTube, but like this match has never been seen in its entirety. And so me and Nikki, I haven't seen it since I was running around in the crowd.
Yeah, it's hard to retain the information when you're working.
And you'll see Nikki Walters running around ringside with the camera. You'll see Becky Hicks, who is our camera lady now. You'll see her front row at this point. So it's so cool taking a look back in time, all the way back to 2022.
But, this magic that happens out in the parking lots at the B-Dub shows, it never fades. So be sure to join us in 2025 for a lot of great shows. And like I said, be telling the kids that the official kickoff to summer is not when the polls open. It's when Schools Out happens and the B-Dub shows in the parking lots begin.
So parents, tell your kids tell your parents.
Yeah.
Mark this date on your calendar. Schools Out 2025, June 12th at the Cross Lanes B-Dubs.
And one of the coolest, the first Schools Out that we did, one of the coolest match graphic flyers ever was that.
Oh yeah,
with the whole desk carved.
With me being a huge rock and roll fan, like the whole dynamic, that graphic for that Alice Cooper School.
So perfect.
Yeah, so perfect. I love that graphic. That little heart with that dagger through it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm getting pretty pumped up and excited thinking about 2025, summer of ACW. This might be the one that kills us, Nikki. This might be the one that kills us.
We are in the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
So Josh Bishop, has been out with an injury for a while, and I know that all of our fans have really missed him and are really looking forward to seeing him back in action again. And at this point, he was making no friends. None.
Yeah, none. Josh Bishop slowly evolved to a fan favorite in Appalachian Championship Wrestling. This is before all that, as you could tell by listening to the interaction with the fans.
Right.
Suicide, the clear crowd favorite in this one. And, Josh has a somewhat abrasive personality at times. And so it took a while for the ACW fans to warm to him.
But now he's like family, so even if he's going to say crosswords to the fan base, they would still love to see him back in the ring.
Well, we've seen Josh Bishop as a heel and as a crowd favorite in ACW, and I think he kills it, knocks it out of the park in any situation or scenario we have ever put him in. With this day being no different.
And Josh Bishop has come back from this injury. You didn't know how well he would do afterwards, but he's come back from this injury stronger than ever. We recently watched him on Black Label Pro.
Yes, beating formerly known as Jinder Mahal clean in the middle of the ring for the Black Label Pro title. And we got to see a couple of weeks ago, before that, we got to see him at the Fourth Rope promotion, which he is a major part of, going up against Zilla Fatu. Which that was, if you're watching wrestling on YouTube, there's probably a good chance you got Triller TV. Check out those shows on Triller. It's awesome to see Josh Bishop.
That was during WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah, the Zilla thing.
Can't really call it weekend because it was several days, but
it was more like a week.
It was during the WrestleMania extravaganza, but during the collective shows, right?
Yes. The Fourth Rope promotion, working with Game Changer Wrestling to. The For the Culture, yes, it was For the Culture with Fourth Rope.
Yeah. So
Josh Bishop making his return. Look at this. Looking to take Suicide down. Exit 187, but Suicide fighting back. That guy's good. Looking forward to see. I'm sure we'll be seeing Suicide pop in at Appalachian Championship Wrestling at some point in 25 as well. That's generally a given. We try to get some dates on this guy. He's been a big part of ACW since the beginning. And that's why, look at that big drop kick through the ropes there. About knocking down the merch table. Suicide getting the fans. There's me at ringside taking some photos. Sitting in the front row. And you got Josh Bishop just drop kicked into the turnbuckles. Kick it out at the 2. And keep in mind, you got Josh Bishop challenging Suicide for the Super H title. Suicide coming into this as we get another shot of Becky and Roy Hicks.
So just so you know, we're gonna have the whole rest of this show. Whoa.
Oh, okay, yeah, there's a guarantee briefcase we was talking about. Distracting the referee with it in the low blow, rolling them up. And we got a new ACW Super H champion, Nikki Walters. Josh Bishop defeating Suicide in the middle of the ring, using some questionable tactics, but victorious nonetheless. And so now you got Josh Bishop. He's got that guarantee briefcase, and he's got that ACW Super H title. And as we talked about, you might want to stick around to the end of this. Josh Bishop maybe doing a little cashing in of the briefcase later in the evening.
So we'll see you for the next match here in just a second, and you're going to want to stick around to the end of this show and never, ever, ever miss out on any of the action here on our YouTube channel. All right, we're back now with the inaugural 6-man tag team tournament, and we're watching it get started right here at this Schools Out show that took place Thursday, June 9th, 2022.
Yeah, we got the, at this point, the ACW 6-man championships were up for grabs. We were running a tournament. And you got, on one side, you got Concrete Jungle, the former ACW Tag Team Champions, Zayden Kane and Raw Talent, teaming up with Gen Z against Paul Bryant, Mickey Doom, and Dante Williams. This is a first round matchup in that tournament. We'll see who got to move on. As the more astute fans of Appalachian Championship Wrestling may know, the winners of that tournament, the Swarm, with the mysterious Black Scorpion and his Swarm, that they won the tournament, but there was never a defense of the title. The title ended up being vacated.
Some may say that an exterminator an exterminator was called and took out the Swarm. Okay. But it's a legend that we don't, no one knows for sure.
No one knows for sure.
It's just a mystery that hangs in the air.
What happened to the Swarm?
Right.
Rumored that many of them went on to bigger and better things and couldn't be bothered to defend the title. But
never know.
ACW, we're not one of the biggest indies in the country. We're not the WWE, we're not Game Changer, we're not IWC or AIW. That's I understand. We're kind of a stepping stone for some of these people, to use our platform to move on to bigger and better things. And that's this is the only time an ACW title was ever vacated.
Yeah.
The Swarm moving on to bigger and better things, and unfortunately never got to defend their tag team titles.
But hey, we got to watch it all play out for a whole summer. So.
Yeah.
And this, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, it's cool seeing Raw Talent in the ring, battling with Mickey Doom. Raw Talent was a big part of Appalachian Championship Wrestling during the pandemic and during this year. Raw Talent suffered an injury, a hernia, I believe, that has impeded his return to the ring, but that it was really cool. He was a big part of the ACW training at the compound during this era, and a big part of the tag team division, as we were talking about earlier. Zayden Kane and Raw Talent.
They worked together for years, knew each other inside and out. So,
and we got to see them. We got to see Zayden and Raw Talent at the very first B-Dub show in Cross Lanes during the pandemic. They won that tag team title.
Right. And then we had, at the time, a newcomer to ACW, Gen Z, who's now become a regular and a fan favorite. So we're seeing him in the ring for one of his first appearances.
Yes, if this wasn't his first appearance in Appalachian Championship Wrestling, this was one of his first appearances. And so he was still in high school at this point, you know, and but there he is, you know, in there testing his mettle against some of the best that the region has to offer, and it's been really cool watching Gen Z grow and develop as a performer in professional wrestling.
And since then, we've seen a couple of feuds with Gen Z, and not official feuds, but we've definitely seen some back and forth, some emotional battles with Gen Z and Zayden Kane.
Yeah, these guys have went up against each other a good bit in Appalachian Championship Wrestling. You have the dynamic of the teacher, Zayden Kane, very instrumental in learning, in Gen Z learning the ropes. And yeah, it's been really cool watching the development of Gen Z.
Using what he's learned to come back and challenge his mentor and teacher. So.
Oh, double stomp from Zayden. And as we have a few minutes here, you have to make plans to see ACW live in 2025. As we were talking about earlier, Schools Out, June 12th, 2025, back in Cross Lanes. But we'll start from the beginning. We got May 16th in Dolly Bridge, West Virginia, the Spider Crowley Memorial Show, the 5th annual Spider Memorial Show. The following week, Friday, May 23rd, we return to Oak Hill, West Virginia. We got Heath announced for that one, making his return. Josh Bishop returns to Appalachian Championship Wrestling. Shane Douglas going to be back in Oak Hill on that one. And then June 12th, we return to Cross Lanes, West Virginia Buffalo Wild Wings for Schools Out.
That's a free show.
Yes. Free show. June 26th, Buffalo Wild Wings, Beckley, West Virginia, also a free show. Be looking for some big announcements concerning that one coming up. The next day, Logan Freedom Fest. We return to Logan Freedom Fest, June 27th, 2025. We got July 5th, downtown Charleston, West Virginia, as part of the Regatta Pro Stern Wheel Slamboree, July 5th, downtown Charleston, West Virginia. And then July 15th and 16th, we return to the Putnam County Fair. Look for some big announcements about our return to the Putnam County Fair coming up soon. July 19th, we make our Hartsville, Ohio debut. July 24th, we're back at the Beckley B-Dubs. August 7th, back at B-Dubs in Cross Lanes. And then September 5th, first Friday, Ashland, Kentucky. Chris Hughes, a.k.a. Moose, working on putting some big stuff together for our return to Ashland, Kentucky, September 5th, 2025. Then we return to the Fall Fest in Barbersville, West Virginia. And that's going to be on September 20th. September 27th, Appalachian Championship Wrestling, making our Dayton, Ohio debut. We got some big stuff already announced for that one. Rock and Roll Express, Rhino, The Powers of Pain, Ming. Then October 1st, we return to Ripley, West Virginia. October 18th, back in Winfield, West Virginia. Barnyard Beatdown, Nikki. And December 12th, Oak Hill, West Virginia. Back in Oak Hill at the middle school. That's what we got as of right now. Be looking for some additions to the schedule, but you got to make plans to see ACW live in 2025.
And if for some reason you can't get to a show, you can watch those shows on our YouTube channel a little while after they've happened and keep up on what's going on.
You got Zayden Kane deposited Paul Bryant onto Dante Williams in the court. And you raw talent climbing up the ropes. Oh, taking a dive, taking out all his opponents on the outside of the ring. Tagging in Gen Z. What we got going on here? Zayden has got Paul Bryant. Wow, devastating maneuver from Raw Talent. And Gen Z, big frog splash on to Paul Bryant. Is Gen Z hooking that leg and getting the 3 count as the team of Concrete Jungle and Gen Z victorious at Schools Out 2022.
After all that action, I still look good.
No, you didn't do nothing.
My goodness. If I wasn't as cool as I am, I'd be melted out here in all this heat wearing this suit. But anyway, moving right along. If I can get my referee to the ring, Justin Petrie. Before I get my next contest in the ring, do not forget, check out our YouTube, Facebook channels for all the content and all the upcoming listings for shows that ACW is going to be at all around the state of West by God, Virginia. West by God, Virginia. That's right. Now moving right along. Our next contest is a 5-person scramble for the ACW International title. I told y'all we got 4 title matches here for you today. And this is a 5-person scramble for the ACW International title. Introducing first, from Fargo, North Dakota, Sugar Shane Storm. And from Cleveland, Ohio, Marino Tenaglia. And from Gainesville, Georgia, Chris, the loaded gun, Chris Cannon. And Killjoy, Kolbe, Max. And finally, introducing your ACW International Champion. He hails from Mount Hope, West Virginia. He is Jason the Gift Kincaid. Ladies and gentlemen, this match is one fall with a 30-minute time limit. This match is set for one fall with a 30-minute time limit.
All right, so we are back now with a scramble match that features a lot of ACW's all-time favorites, people that I'm sure that you are familiar with. And this is a scramble for the international title that, coming to the ring, was held by...
Jason the Gift Kincaid.
Why was I blanking on that? Like I was seeing his name written but couldn't get it out of my mouth. So yes, Jason Kincaid was the holder of the international title at this time, putting it on the line.
He had won the title the previous summer, so the tournament final was at the River Fest in Nitro, West Virginia. I think that was one that you had a conflict of schedule and you missed. But Jace Kincaid had held this international title for close to a year going into this match and had turned back numerous challengers for the title. And here you go, it's Schools Out 2022. He's putting it on the line in a scramble. And you look at there, you see Shane Storm. Haven't seen him in Appalachian Championship Wrestling for a while. Great to see him again. Kolbe, Max, haven't seen her for a little bit. Hopefully we'll see her again in 2025. And you got
Marino Tenaglia,
who we were talking earlier, this was Josh Bishop's 5th appearance in Appalachian Championship Wrestling. This also at the beginning of Marino's run with ACW. This was his 5th appearance as well, as him and Josh Bishop both come from the Cleveland area at a lot of times, would ride in together, even though they weren't always on the same side. I'm assuming on some of these car rides were maybe a little awkward. You probably had to have Josh sitting in the front with Marino sitting in the back, just keep them separated. They haven't always been on the best of terms in Appalachian Championship Wrestling, but true professionals in every sense of the word.
Marino always brings the party. As we could see, this got started off with a dance-off of sorts.
Well, Marino kind of killing the party, as you see Colby Max doing the worm.
Lures you in, only to stomp you down. But he wanted that international title, so he's going to do what he's got to do to make that happen.
Yes, at this point, Marino had not tasted gold in Appalachian Championship Wrestling. He ended up beating the defending champion Wes Barkley in the fall, in October of 2022. But this is before that. This is before Marino's epic 2-year-plus run defending that ACW Super H title. But you could already tell at this point there were big things coming out of this guy.
And just wanted to point out, this is our Schools Out show. In case you missed our first match there, this is our Schools Out show from 2022. And our next Schools Out show is coming up in just a few short weeks on June 12th in Cross Lanes. So
Schools Out for summer.
So you want to be there. You can see there's a little bit of shade. It's not too.
Schools Out forever.
Well, I mean, I like school.
Blown to pieces. Well, I like school too, but I think me and Nikki Walters, we appreciated different things about school.
Right.
Nikki Walters more, I think, enjoyed the book learning and the awesome library.
The praise from the teachers for being the best.
For me, what I loved about school was the social aspect of school. Running around, sitting in the back of the class. I'm sure using the front row of class. Me and Nikki Walters. I'm a good bit older than Nikki, and also I was a graduate, somewhat of a graduate of South Charleston High. Nikki,
Nitro High School.
You were a Nitro High graduate. Going to different schools, also doing different things. Nikki Walters in the front row asking questions and taking good notes. Me in the back row goofing off, doing spit wads, and not as concerned about my note taking.
Yeah, I'm more like Schools Out, sad.
I was more like Schools Out. School's been blown to pieces. Yeah. But me and Nikki Walters have bonded over our mutual love
of wrestling,
of professional wrestling. So you got front row schools people, you got back row schools people, and you got everybody in between. You got some people I see in the middle of the classroom.
One place I do like to be in the front still is at wrestling shows. Front row. Front row.
Generally, if Nikki's not in the commentary booth, you'll see her take it in a show in the front row.
So we recently saw Chris Cannon put the exclamation point, the period on the end of a long career.
Yes,
a lot of which
19
was spent,
plus years in the ring.
a lot of which was spent with Appalachian Championship Wrestling.
Yes, such. Oh, did you see that dive?
A projectile.
That was a projectile. But yeah, it's been awesome. Oh, and another projectile dive for Jason Gift Kincaid. It's been awesome watching Chris Cannon doing his thing in ACW. Whoa, Marino Tenaglia was a big dive. It's been so cool watching him. Recently had to step away from the ring due to an injury to his ankle.
An injury, family obligations, and I think he just felt like it was time, and it's always good to end on a good note, end at the top of your game, so.
Yeah, it was a moving experience seeing Chris Cannon setting those boots in the middle of the ring.
Of course, interrupted rudely, as usual.
Well, yes. That's, pro wrestling, none of these things are going to go down without a hitch.
But scroll back and check out that match if you haven't already. Check out that ceremony and the nonsense that took place.
Yeah, ACW Underground Assault 7, Chris Cannon's retirement ceremony. Now, I'd love to think we're going to see Chris Cannon back in some capacity at some point. Mm-hmm. You know how pro wrestling is. I think about that Sopranos episode. Just when you think you're done, they pull me back in. But as of right now, we have seen the last of Chris Cannon in Appalachian Championship Wrestling for the time being. And Kolbe Max going with a big dive, flipping dive off the top rope.
Brave there onto pavement.
Yes, but taking everybody out, the risk reward there, paying off for Kolbe Max. But yeah, we've seen Chris Cannon with a lot of championship gold in Appalachian Championship Wrestling. We've seen him as the ACW Heavyweight Champion. We've seen him as part of the ACW and Bluegrass Tag Team Champions. We've seen him as part of the ACW Six-Man Champions. This was prior to his run with Shane Douglas and the franchise players.
Yeah.
Chris Cannon at this point kind of still
on the good side.
Yes, he was a crowd favorite at this point. It was about a year after this to where, it was this later in this same year. You seen Chris Cannon kind of turn to the dark side of the force.
So one thing I wanted to point out earlier, we were talking about something else, but the waitress from B-Dubs was like walking around the front row serving drinks and wings or food of some sort. So that's one of the great things about our B-Dub shows, man. You can sit outside, sit right by the ring.
Take in the show.
You don't even have to get up.
Yeah.
And they'll bring you your drinks and your wings. So
right to your seat.
You really just don't want to miss these shows. You really can't beat it. It's free to attend, and then you get service ringside without missing one single moment of action. And especially at this particular B-Dubs, we're in the shade, so there's really just no reason not to come.
Oh, super kick. Wow, okay, yeah. It's so cool watching these matches again, Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't. There's a couple matches on this that have been previously released on our YouTube channel, but this is one of the ones
that has not.
We have not seen this since the day it happened.
Yeah, when we're working, we can't really concentrate.
Yeah, you're focusing on the action, but in a different way.
Right. on capturing it for you kind folks that watch our YouTube channel.
Okay, you got Chris Cannon in there. Fisherman suplex going for it on Shane Storm, but Shane Storm battling back, trying to dump Cannon over the top rope, I think. Oh, putting him over his knee. You got Marino Tenaglia bouncing off the ropes, cracking Shane Storm upside the head. Oh, they're driving his face into the vat. Marino Tenaglia. What an awesome athlete. You got Kincaid up behind, belly to back from Kincaid to Marino. These guys, we got to see them, compete a couple times. Always awesome matchups when you got Marino and Jason Kincaid in there. Jason Kincaid up behind Kolbe Max. Whipped into the ropes.
Just to throw this in real quick, I'll try to be super succinct. Kincaid came with the title, but he doesn't have to take the pin.
Yes. In these scrambles, as you see, Chris Cannon winning his first international title, pinning Kolbe Max. He ended up being a 2-time champion, but this is his first run with the ACW international title, going over Kolbe Max. So, thank you, Chris, for all the memories, and we'll see you somewhere down the road, I'm sure. All right, Nikki, this next match, we got the Cleveland Express of Brian Carson and Casey Carrington challenging DDTrash for the ACW Tag Team titles. And
now introducing,
I really enjoy these looks back in time. Like, we got a good shot of those old ACW tag titles. Belts. We've definitely upgraded there.
But, at the time, and still now, Ron Mathis and Bruce Gray, just a formidable tag team. They can read each other's minds without even looking at each other, and really, there aren't many tag teams with that kind of depth of relationship.
Chemistry. Yeah, the chemistry that they have from teaming so many times over the years, winning so many tag titles over the years. They can read each other's minds, basically. Brothers from another mother.
Yes. Of course, Ron Mathis has been out with an injury, now. So we're getting to take a look back at Ronnie in the ring, which is nice to be able to do. And we've definitely missed having him able to wrestle because of an injury.
Yeah, but Ronnie Mathis, he's valuable no matter what. He has stepped in the commissioner role. Joe Montgomery, he's still part of ACW, but as he's been busy with a lot of other stuff, I mean, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of us, we're not making a full-time living off of pro wrestling. We have to still keep what they would call shoot jobs, right?
Right.
Joe Montgomery, Nikki Walters, myself, we're all busy in other aspects of our lives. But Joe Montgomery having to take a little time off from the commissioner role due to other obligations, professional obligations, and it's been really cool seeing Ronnie step into that role during his injury and kill it just the way he always kills it no matter what he does. As he dives over the top rope on to Casey Carrington. Casey Carrington and Brian Carson, we got to see them a good bit in 2022. Casey Carrington was more often than not a part of that Cleveland car that we would get, and he was awesome. You remember some of these deals, him working the fans?
He could get so mean. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people can get mean. He can get real mean.
He was a natural heel on that mic. And there was a couple times like he had a hot mic and it was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. You know, he was great. He was great getting the heat on that mic. And Brian Carson, we didn't get to see him as much. We got to see him a few times. was always great at that stuff too. And, we pride ourselves on, we have a combination. We got a lot of old school wrestling influences in Appalachian Championship Wrestling as far as when we put these things together. And we use a lot of more modern stuff. But, the dynamic that I've always enjoyed, these heels, getting on the mic, getting some heat, making these fans angry. These fans, they want to see these bad guys get beat up by the good guys. And Casey Carrington and Brian Carson were excellent in that role.
I feel like West Virginia fans are so much true blue wrestling fans that they get it. They enjoy a good heel.
Absolutely.
Hitting them verbally where it hurts. They enjoy it and would take nothing less. So.
Well, and we'll see some fans in the front row, Showmars, who they love giving it right back to them.
Right.
So hey, it's all fair game.
Softer folk might not be able to take it, but us West Virginia fans can take it and actually love it.
Well, fair warning. If you don't like interacting with the heels, you might want to get in the second row, because if you're in the front row at an Appalachian Championship Wrestling event, you're going to be involved in a show, dealing with some of these dastardly heels we got, but also some of these, the good guys, like DDTrash, who've always been crowd favorites in ACW. You're going to get some high fives and some love from them. But, these heels, I love watching these heels get these fans fired up.
High fives, and in the instance of Bruce Gray, maybe a lap dance. So if you don't,
interactive experience.
If you don't want a lap dance, don't. During those entrances, don't be reaching for your wallet.
Yeah, don't be reaching for your wallet.
It's a bad time to reach for your wallet if you do not want a lap dance.
Bruce is looking to make some money. We've talked about before. Bruce is a very busy, top-notch pro wrestler, but I think this is his side hustle.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it to the fans at home to maybe figure out what his other hustle is. But he may be
entrepreneurial, as it were.
Yes, there may be some lap dances involved in this, as Bruce, a favorite of the ladies.
Yes. So you never know what you're going to get at our shows, but it's definitely going to be entertaining. And one thing that I love about looking back on these videos is it's a trip down memory lane. Like I see my dad in the crowd a lot of times. You see your mom. And so the fact that we have these videos on YouTube, if you're a regular that comes to our shows, it's a walk down memory lane of, your friends, your family members, great evenings that you've had under the stars with us. So I really love the family aspect and the nostalgia of looking back on these shows. And why not join us for future shows in 2025 to make new memories?
Yeah, check out our social media for the most up-to-date announcements. You got to make plans to see ACW live in 2025, and we're going to be all over the place, running a bunch of dates. You got to get out and see us at least once, but hopefully a bunch of times. And so we got, at this point, as we were talking about earlier, DDTrash were the defending ACW Tag Team Champions. We've seen them win the Bluegrass Tag titles in addition, and I'm sure that is not the end of DDTrash in their championship run in Appalachian Championship Wrestling. Oh, big brainbuster by Casey. You got dive off the top, but Ronnie with the save. Those guys weren't they had just a death grip on those titles. That they weren't gonna let them go without a fight. The franchise players eventually upended them, for the tag titles, but it was under very controversial and dubious means.
Right, never straight and narrow with the franchise players.
You got, big super kick. Taking, and a knee from Casey Carrington. Clothesline just spent. Sent Casey Carrington head over heels for Ron Mathis. Ed Ronnie, he's going to the corner. He's looking for Bruce, but Bruce has been took out. No Bruce to be found in the corner, unfortunately, for Ronnie. But Ronnie setting up. He's got Casey trying to get him in that pile driver. When he gets that pile driver on somebody, it's over. And Bruce with that DDT. And when he puts on that DDT, it's over. Ronnie with a big dive. DDTrash defending the ACW tag titles in spectacular fashion.
All right, we'll be back for our main event in just a few.
The intense icon came to ACW today to get a little gold. In my right hand here, I got this briefcase that guarantees me a shot at the heavyweight title. And you know what? I don't think today I'm done getting gold. So I'll be watching that main event tonight, and maybe I'm gonna cash in and leave with 2 titles tonight.
It is for the ACW Heavyweight Championship, and it is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. Introducing first, he hails from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing in at 210 pounds, representing Impact Wrestling. He is Caleb with a K.
Okay, that's not Caleb. Come on, man.
And introducing his opponent, he hails from Madison.
Talk about getting some heel heat.
We said it's free, but then you have to also pay for your children's therapy.
Enter at your own risk. Enter at your own risk.
He is Huffmanly.
There's one feller that won't traumatize your children.
No, he'll give your kids a high five, and he'll take a photo with them, give them an autograph.
Right. So Huffmanly at the time, now known as 8-Bit Kid, was here for a big match with Caleb Konley.
Yes, at the time, Huffmanly, you see that gold around his waist. He was the defending the defending heavyweight title holder, Huffmanly. He had defeated Shane Douglas for that title, and it had a run of really good defenses. I remember him turning back Mr. Hughes and Chris Cannon just right off the top of my head. But he goes into this match defending against Caleb Konley. And Huffmanly, he was a really big part of Appalachian Championship Wrestling. That area, during this era, we still get to see him from time to time, but Huffmanly, as you see Caleb beating him down, giving him some kicks. Caleb, it's been awesome. I'll say it again, going through some of this old footage and all this stuff we haven't watched for a long time. Caleb's still somebody that we use when we can. Huffmanly's still somebody that we use when we can.
And I was going to mention this earlier. We kind of ran out of time, but I love that at Appalachian Championship Wrestling, you can expect a bunch of kind of different things. You had mentioned that we do some of the old school stuff, but some of the new stuff also. But I love the fact that you'll have a legend here and there, right? Which is good for people that have watched wrestling for years and come for that reason.
A good jumping, right. Like having some of these legends, it's a good jumping off point for people that are your more traditional TV wrestling fans.
And then we have the, of course, respect and pay homage to the talent that's homegrown in West Virginia and the tri-state with the local folks. And then, of course, we're also bringing in a lot of up-and-coming talent that maybe you hadn't heard of until you came to an Appalachian Championship Wrestling show. But then by the time you make it through a summer of ACW with us, you are fluent in them, and then can watch them as their star continues to rise nationally. So I think mixing all of that up, having a little bit of everything and everyone, it not only is great for our fans, but also I'm sure is great for the in-ring talent as well, to get to learn from past generations, learn from local talent, and then also learn from the up-and-comers from outside of the area. So if you really just truly love wrestling as a whole, like I do, and like I know that Mike Kelly does, and the kind folks that we're seeing here in the front row do, then you'll appreciate not just the matches themselves, but the bigger picture of what all you're getting to see and witness and be part of, because as these stars continue to rise, you can look and see these matches of yourself from 2021, 2022, sitting ringside, and then you're watching them on TV.
Yeah. I mean, looking in the ring right now, I'm seeing Huffmanly, who now his character, the 8-bit kid Huffmanly, the current All-Star Wrestling West Virginia heavyweight champion. And then you got Caleb Konley in there. He is the Juggalo Championship Wrestling North American champion. So you've seen both these guys, continue to rise. Their stars continue to rise, and it just the nostalgia of looking at these old shows, Nikki. Just like there's a lot of fun getting together with you, because nostalgia stirs up other memories. There's this was during our second full year. During the pandemic year, we did a lot of studio stuff, did one live event. This was our second full year of, the restrictions of the pandemic had been lifted, and you're starting to see things get back to normal. Like the pandemic era, it wasn't a lot of fun in a lot of ways, but it was fun in a lot of ways. We found some stuff to do. One of the things we did, me and you became part of the Appalachian Championship Wrestling team.
Yeah.
And it was at this point, it's starting to really take off.
Yeah, I hate to ever look at the pandemic, because I know that people lost loved ones, lost jobs, the economy took a hit, so for a lot of people it was devastating. So I hate to ever look back on the pandemic as something that was amazing, but I think everyone had their own experiences, and luckily you and I, we weren't losing family members to the pandemic, but we were instead getting to enjoy some building out this new era of ACW, and then also enjoying wrestling all across the country with GCW.
Yeah, we were hitting a lot of live events during that pandemic era, and Moose had been running Appalachian Championship Wrestling for about 5 years. Mm-hmm. And it was right about the 5-year point that the pandemic hit, and me and you became a part of it. Mm-hmm. And so, given the situations, you have to adapt, and we both have a lot of stuff that we like to do. Well, during that pandemic, Appalachian Championship Wrestling became a very big part of our calendars. And it's it's real. No, I said this 20 times already. Really fun going back and checking out these old shows.
And seeing how much we've grown since these shows only shows you where we'll be 5 years from now. So, super exciting. We hope that people will be part of it. This is our Schools Out show, like we said at the beginning of this episode. This one is from 2022, but our next Schools Out show, you guys have a chance to be at, so mark it down on your calendar, save an alert, and make your phone ding to tell you that it's coming up Thursday, June 12th, 2025 in Cross Lanes. So this is a free show. You can come eat, you can sit ringside, get service right there ringside without ever having to get up. It's outside under the stars. It's a great way to kick off the summer.
You about got me singing that Schools Out song again, which I don't want to put anyone through that trauma once again, but yeah, I'm so excited about it. I'm like wanting to burst into song, Nikki.
And so, are the match announcements out for that yet?
No.
So
we have. There is a flyer for the event out at this point. We got Cowpoke Paul signed for that. We got Kane and Christopher. We got Handsome Nick Hammer. And a bunch more stuff. Like, check out our Facebook and Instagram for the most up-to-date show announcements. And, of course, be checking out our YouTube. We'll be releasing these shows as we go for you fans that are we really appreciate you guys checking out our stuff and liking and subscribing.
That's what I was going to say. That helps us circulate more and just helps give us a little bit of knowledge that someone's out there listening. So we really appreciate that. Now I think we should probably have you kind of give a little bit of a spoiler.
Set the stage, yeah. So, as we were talking about earlier, Huffmanly went to this match, the defending Appalachian Championship Wrestling heavyweight champion. And as we saw earlier in the show, and prior to this match with the promo, you had Josh Bishop. He had defeated Suicide earlier in the night for the Super H title. And he's kind of lurking around. He's got that briefcase, the guaranteed briefcase that he's looking to cash in. And what bigger prize to cash it in for than the ACW heavyweight title? So here momentarily, you'll see Josh Bishop come in, and you're going to see him cash that briefcase in, and you're going to see him become the ACW heavyweight champion. Right? You know, giving out some spoilers, but we don't want you to miss this historic. Oh yeah, he's not wanting Caleb to win. Caleb didn't make no friends here at Cross Lanes on his ring entrance. Believe that.
There's one fellow that was probably not sad to see Josh Bishop come out and create turmoil. But
yeah, you're going to see Josh Bishop return to Appalachian Championship Wrestling May 23rd, 2025, Oak Hill, West Virginia. Don't have his opponent signed yet. I'm sure we're going to find somebody really good for him to fight on his return. But yeah, this show, the fifth appearance of Josh Bishop in Appalachian Championship Wrestling, and on his fifth appearance, he basically took over the company. We saw him beat Suicide earlier in the night. He's going to cash in that briefcase here in a minute to become the ACW heavyweight champion as well. Because as you remember, Nikki, this was the year Josh Bishop was running around. He had both them belts, and he was defending both them belts all across the Appalachian Championship Wrestling territory. And he held that ACW Super H title until October this year when he gifted it to his tag team partner in Rip City Shooters, Wes Barkley.
Which you guys can find that on our YouTube channel also and watch that shenanigan.
Yes.
But, you know, speaking of rising stars, we were just now talking about two of them that from when they started with us to where they are now in their careers. Completely different. And this is so cool to see.
Yeah, the gimmick has changed for both these guys. Huffmanly doing the yeet thing at the time, 8-bit kid now. And Caleb, at this time, he was Caleb with a K. That was his total nonstop action gimmick, so to speak. And we've watched his gimmick and presentation evolve. Have you got to see Caleb doing his Juggalo Championship Wrestling character? It's evolved even further. I think if you have not had a chance to see it, Nikki, check that out. It's taking elements from... Oh, yes, okay. And Josh Bishop showing up at ringside. He's cashing in that briefcase, Nikki. And I remember the natural sound of the crowd. Josh Bishop going out there and starting some crap with the fans. So when this match ends, me and Nikki's going to duck out so that you guys can enjoy that fan interaction with Josh and the crowd.
But thank you guys for being here with us for this look back on Schools Out, and just want to remind you, make sure you come and see us.
Josh Bishop just blasted Caleb with that Super H title, and he's got the heavyweight champion Huffmanly prone and beat down at ringside. And very strategic. Michelle ain't happy about it, but very strategic on Josh's part. He waited till this match was well underway. Black hole slam. About drove Huff through the mat. Big victory as ACW heavyweight champion now. ACW heavyweight and Super H champion. Josh Bishop being awarded the titles. And we're going to go ahead and get out of here so you guys can enjoy
the meltdown.
The meltdown. Yeah, speaking of, but thanks for checking out our stuff, and we will be seeing you guys soon.
ACW on this Thursday evening here at Buffalo Wild Wings. We appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you all